So what lead sources do you work? So you talked about having, I don't know, 450 conversations per month. Who are you calling? What are the sources of business you're working?
So it's expireds, unconditional withdrawals, for sell by owners. Those are
Got
my
it.
three pillars that I use. And expires were my first introduction to real estate as well. So that's the one that I'm determined to master because that's, yeah, this is low hanging fruit, right? However, you got every single agent in town calling them too. So having to have these tough conversations early in the morning and kind of diffuse a situation when they're yelling at you over the phone. I think that that's a good skill to have, right? Because if you have it in face to face with a potential client, it just helps. By the way, just that's all I'm trying to say. But yeah, so it's expired, unconditional withdrawals, and for sale by owners are the
All
three.
right, cool. So let's break down your kind of your daily schedule. So how many people do you have a contact goal you're looking to hit? Do you have a certain amount of hours you're looking to spend in lead generation? What does that look like on the generating side of the business?
Brendan, that's actually a very good question because I actually started breaking that apart too. I was thinking I need to make, at least 15 good conversations, have 15 good conversations. And now with the market going the way it is, I've seen myself having to prospect more than 3 hours now. And I was on the Kajabi, right? And you had mentioned you need to start prospecting in the afternoon. And that's something that I really have to start implementing if I want to hit 15 to 18 contacts a day. So now so to kind of answer your question, initially my goal was 15 conversations. Now it's at least 4 hours to 6 hours of prospecting. So 4 hours from 8 to 12, and then in the afternoon from maybe 4 to 6.
I love it. And in between, if you have appointments, you go on appointments, and if you have appointments in the
Right.
evening, you go on those appointments. Essentially, Helen, the reason why you're getting success is we boil down the business into two things: looking for appointments and going on appointments. Period. And you've simplified that. Now, to be fair, so many real estate agents struggle with prospecting. Certainly, the amount of time that you're prospecting. How are you able to approach the business with the mindset and the discipline to prospect 4 or 5 hours a day when you know as well as I know, maybe you don't, but to give you some context, the average agent probably doesn't prospect 4 hours a month and you're
Yeah.
prospecting 4 or 5 hours a day. How are you able to do that day in and day out, even though it's very boring, it's very mundane, you're getting lots of rejection? How are you able to do that day in and day out?
I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I do it because, if I owe it to myself, my business, I owe it to my business. That's the way I look at it. I owe it to stay in my fight because I feel that other people do it and you see the success and it doesn't come easy, right? And I think that if I want to see a successful business, I have to do it. I just have to. Don't get me wrong. Do I like it? Absolutely, I don't. I get migraines half the time because I'm so tired of like having these conversations. But then you meet a client, you get the listing, and they're happy that you sold their home. They're like, "Thank you so much for reaching out to me." So how do I do it? I do it because I have to,
Yeah.
not because I want to. And I think
Yeah.
that's the best way you can look at it.
Yeah, the way and I agree. And the thing is, I would say that any first year agent, even the first, I would say 3 years, you're really paying the price today for what you want in the future. If we want to make four, five, six, $700,000 per year, well, naturally we're going to have to put in the work. Everybody says they want to make a lot of money right up until it's time to put in a lot of work. And we can make more than an orthopedic surgeon. We can. However, if you look at the surgeon, they pay the price: 8, 10, 12 years of schooling, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. They work 20 hours a day for 4 years during their internship without getting paid anything to
Right.
then one day make 4 or 500 grand a year. So we're paying the price. Everybody wants it now, 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 now. The way that I look at it is you're simply just paying the price today for what Helen wants in the future. And if you keep doing this, there's zero doubt that you can be a multiple six-figure income earner. And with that being said, what is your goal? Because you said earlier, you left a great paying career to get into this industry. Financially, what are some of the goals that you have for yourself for the future?
Financially, I would have to say that I at least want to break the six figure, right? You want to
Yeah, for
make at
sure.
least 100,000. I think if you make 100,000 in this business, I think you got something going for yourself, right? I'm not saying that if I don't hit it next year, that's a bad thing. No, but that is my goal financially. Is yeah, hit that six figure.
Crack the six figures, and then from there, who knows what's
Who
next.
knows, right? But
Yeah.
that's my first main priority. Um, and I guess my second main priority in real estate for this upcoming 2023 is really being comfortable with rejection. I'm still not comfortable with it. It still hurts. Yeah, October, I had a solid September. October kind of took a dip, and I was starting to feel that again. I'm like, no, 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 no. Just keep going. Just forget about it. That was last month. Now it's this month. So I think it's like it's mastering my emotions. I
That's
think
right.
I'm a very emotional person, obviously. But I think mastering my emotions is something that I want to definitely implement a lot more in 23, because I feel like if you master your emotions, I think everything else will come with a breeze. But if you don't, then you're like a roller coaster. You do things when you feel like it. And when you're up, and when you're down, you're down. And I don't want that to affect me in the future like it did 6 months ago. So that's a main priority for me as well, is to control all of this.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part, right? I mean, in between the ears is probably the hardest game that we have to play every day to be consistent. Give us maybe one best practice, Helen, that you're finding while prospecting over the telephone that you're finding is working, that's allowing you to generate leads and generate appointments over the phone.
Um, I would have to say, really start your day early. I have a Peloton bike. I get on my bike in the morning and I do sweat for at least 20 to 30 minutes. And then kind of look at I don't have a vision board. I actually have a notebook of all the goals that I want to achieve. And I think I always kind of glance through it before I start my prospecting. And that's really helped me get into that mindset of like, this is why you're doing this. Now go for it and attack it head on. And I think if you constantly remind yourself of why you started this, it just becomes easier. I think that's my best practice is constantly remind yourself, why did you start? Where will you be in 6 months if you don't stop?
Mm.
And that helps. And again, yeah, wake up early, have a workout routine, something. I don't take cold showers. I'm not doing that. but but I think that really helps me. And then remind yourself why you got in the business, and then go for it all over again. Then every morning.
Yeah. Are there, and I love that, are there any skills that you're finding over the phone? So when you're talking to a prospect, are there any scripts that are working, any skill sets that you're finding that are working really well that helps you set these listing appointments?
I would have to say, with expireds, it's more of that sense of curiosity, like you say.
That's
Just
right.
be curious. Just like, hey, before you let me go, let me ask you this, and get your last question in. Now, if they don't want to talk, they don't want to talk. But I think the best is just coming from a place of curiosity. It's like, did you get any offers? Well, what did that look like? Well, what type of feedback did you get back from your agent? And then let them do the talking and realize, like, well, maybe you got to you have to seek a second opinion. I think that's what's really working for me, is just coming from a place of curiosity and just saying, hey, hypothetically, right? If I can get you another offer, how does that sound to you?
Sure.
I think that really works. So.
Yeah. That I love it. I love it. And then what about for sell by owners? What are you finding that is working when you're having these conversations over the phone?
So with for sell by owners, I really like your approach. You don't come from a place of, well, I can get you more money for your house. You're like, no, because I don't even know if selling your home is going to be worth it or not, right?
Right.
What's helped me with for sell by owners is approaching it into the sense where, if in the future you can't sell, would you consider potentially hiring me or interviewing me for the possibility of potentially getting you more for your home or getting it sold in a timely manner? And
Sure.
then they're like, well, yeah, I don't see why not. And I was able to book more for sell by owner appointments. And I went in with the intention of, I want to list your home. So it's still kind of in the air, right? I'm still following up with them. They're still on the market. But what's helping me with for sell by owners is, again, it's come from a place of curiosity, as a hypothetical question like, well, if you can't sell it on your own, are you ready to interview the right person to do it for you?
Yeah.
And I think that really helps too.
Yeah, it's great. So if you could rewind and go back, get licensed all over again a year and a half ago, and you could talk to that Helen, knowing what you know right now, what would
Oh
you
man,
tell yourself that maybe
don't
some
do
other,
it.
I know, that it's maybe some other new real estate agents could benefit from? Because you're right. It's funny you just said that, but really, there's a lot of people that get into real estate that shouldn't. But knowing all the stuff you know now, going through all of the ups and downs that you've gone through, what would you tell yourself?
Um, I think I would tell myself, make a commitment to your commitment, in a sense, right? It's like you make a commitment, yeah. Now make a commitment to that commitment on top of it, because it's gonna get rough. And if you're in it for the long haul, you're gonna, I mean, this industry will put some knots in your head. That's all I have to say. And you got to be willing to like get up, dust yourself off, and like, all right, let's keep going. I think the greatest advice that I would tell myself is that if you're gonna do it for the right reasons. Do it because this is truly a desire you have in your heart, not because someone else is telling you to do it. And make a commitment to the commitment that you're making to yourself today if you want to see something in the future.
Yeah, and what you mean by that, I think, is what people often do is while they're excited about starting something new, they say, "Oh, I want to go and create this new thing, this new relationship, this new career. I'm so excited." But then after they get started and after that excitement goes down, it's really easy to lose that commitment. So really
Yeah.
making a commitment and having the discipline to follow through on that commitment long after the excitement has left. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. You have to get past the honeymoon phase, just like anything in life, right? That new car smell, the new
That's
house,
right.
the new, once you get past it, like, oh, this is so new and beautiful. Now it's just like, oh God, now what? You
That's right.
really have to see it through. And I think my best advice that I can give all the new agents that are listening to me today is get past that 6-month hurdle.
Yeah.
Get past those negative emotions that you will get. You will start to doubt yourself, and you will start to doubt every single thing you start to do. But you have to remind yourself, why did you start? And who is counting on you in order for you to finish? Finish because you can't, not because you want to. It's kind of like in a marathon, right? You got
That's
five
right.
miles left and it's so close, yet it seems so far. And I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's still a lot of work. And I think that your grind has to match your goal. That's it, bottom line.
Love it. Well said. What's your goal for 2023?
My goal for 2023, feeling the way I'm feeling now, I want to take at least 50 listings next year. I want to sell 50 listings. 50 listings, if I can hit that goal, yes. I'm
That'd be
amazing.
massive.
Yes. That's in my heart. That's my goal. And that's the goal that I see now, and I want to go full on, just like let's do it.
Amazing. And I can't wait to be right by your side to do it. And so thank you for taking some time to pour back into a very difficult industry. And there'll be a lot of real estate agents that watch this that you will inspire through your story. So thank you for taking time out of your day to do this. We really, really appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you, Brandon. It was a pleasure. And obviously, it's an honor to have the opportunity to speak to you.
Absolutely, Helen. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.